You never think the hardest words you'll ever say will be to your own child. To the boy you rocked to sleep, whose scraped knees you kissed. I said those words standing in my own hallway, the same hallway he learned to walk in. Touch that suitcase again, I told him, my voice so calm it scared even me. And you're out. He just laughed. A ugly, slurring sound. This is my house, he spat. She and her brat are gone, and in that moment, I saw his father staring back at me, the same contempt in his eyes, the same belief that this world and everyone in it belonged to him. And I knew I had let this happen. By staying silent for so long, I had taught him this was okay. It wasn't always like this. After my husband died, there were 3 years of quiet. 3 years of rebuilding this house into a home, a real home. It was small, but it was warm. It was honest. I filled it with light and plants and peace. And my son, oh, he was so handsome, charming. Everyone loved him. But I loved him too much. I made excuses. When he started collecting girlfriends in high school like trophies, I told myself he was just popular. I blamed the grief. I told myself he'd grow out of it. Then came Tamara. Sweet, quiet Tamara. A college senior with big dreams and even bigger eyes. She was going to be a teacher. My son came to me one evening, putting on that responsible voice he'd perfected. She's pregnant, he said. I'm doing the right thing. And a part of me, a foolish, hopeful part, thought maybe this would be it. Maybe a baby would sober him the way fatherhood had, for a little while, sobered his father. Maybe love would fix what I had failed to. For a time, it seemed like it might. The house felt different with Tamara in it. There was an extra chair at the table. Her soft slippers by the door. She'd cook while she studied, humming to herself. She carried more than a child. She carried this fragile piece. But the day my granddaughter was born, that's when the first real crack appeared. She was perfect, with a strong cry and her father's eyes. And do you know what he said when he saw her? His face just went flat. A girl? That tiny question, it was like a hairline fracture in our new life. And it just kept widening. The nights got harder. The baby would cry and he'd snap. I'd see Tamara flinch. I saw the bruise on her wrist one morning. She said it was from the crib rail, but I knew a lie when I saw one. I told enough of them myself. Then the truth found its way to me. A phone call from my late husband's niece, Penny. Her voice was a hushed whisper in a stairwell. Aunt Carol, he's over here again, bragging about some new girl. Says he needs to feel alive. Says Tamara has ruined her looks. I'm so sorry. It was like ice water in my veins. His grandmother, she raised him on approval, like it was a currency. And now he was broke and desperate. He'd come home late, smelling of cheap cologne and arrogance. Lower your voice, I'd tell him in the midnight kitchen. She just got the baby to sleep, and he'd look at me with pure venom. Then get them out, his father used to cut with words. My son, he swung them like a bat. That's when I pulled out the old files. The deed, the probate letters. I sat at the kitchen table, my hands trembling, and I remembered something he had long forgotten. When his grandmother added him to her lease years ago for an apartment he never stayed in, he signed a non-occupancy clause for this address. This house, my house, was never legally his. I was about to light a match in a room full of gas, and I knew there was no going back. It's a terrifying feeling, making a choice that will change everything forever. It's a feeling you never want to miss, which is why if you're not subscribed, you might never see how this ends. The algorithm can be cruel like that. So tap that subscribe button now, because what happened next, it still haunts me. The confrontation was worse than I imagined. I stood my ground. "You don't live here," I told him, my voice shaking. "You're not on this deed." He just scoffed. "Try me." And as my hands trembled, that old familiar tremor I used to hide from his father, I made a choice. Not this time. I laid the documents on the table. "Here's your signature. Your legal residence is your grandmother's. If you set foot in this house after tonight, it's trespassing." He read it. I watched the bravado drain from his face, replaced by a cold, stunned shock. He gathered his things into a trash bag, and as he left, he threw one last dagger. "You picked her over me." But he was wrong. So wrong. "No, son, I finally picked me." And I picked your daughter. The click of the front door was the loudest silence I've ever heard. Tamara just collapsed into a chair, sobbing. I put the kettle on. I spoke softly. First, a bath. Then, tea. Then, sleep. Tomorrow we make a list. We call your college advisor. We find a counselor. We make a plan. Because lists are how you build a bridge out of a storm. Of course, the backlash came. A text from his grandmother, all caps. "You stole my grandson's home." I didn't argue. I just took a picture of the deed and the clause and I sent it back. Truth doesn't need to shout. It just needs to be documented. Later, Tamara whispered to me, her voice so small. "He said he'd take her from me." I looked her right in the eye and I meant every word. "He won't, not while I'm still breathing." That vow, it scared me with its weight. But it also steadied me with its absolute rightness. In this house, for so long, a man's shadow decided where the furniture went, how loud the TV could be, even the very air we breathed. But that night, I opened a window, and the next morning I taped a small index card to the fridge. Just one word: boundaries. So I'll ask you, because I still lie awake some nights wondering, was I a monster? Was I wrong to choose the safety of a young mother and her child over the pride of my own son? If you were in my shoes, standing in that hallway, what would you have done? Tell me the truth in the comments. Your judgment or your support, it matters. Thank you for listening.